Hello, Miss.
You
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you.
can I see your hair, Anne? I like your hair at the back.
Yeah.
You have very long hair.
Uh, yes.
How long? Until where?
Maybe about 60 centimeter. Maybe
Really?
70 centimeter. Yeah.
Oh, that's why you can tie it in a bun. That's why you can do it like that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, you're the only one to have a lesson now. I would like to ask you, where are we in the homework?
I just finished short story 1, 2, and co- continue to do Julius Caesar before I have a final exam. Yeah.
Yeah, because we have very few meetings left. And if we finish the novel now, then we can start talking about your homework. We can do it here on Zoom. You can show me. On Saturday, you will still be alone, right?
Yeah.
Without long. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
will be a good opportunity for me to see your work, and you can work on that from now until Saturday, and we can check it so you can drop it in the drop box, right? I hope you will not be too busy this week so that you could finish your homework.
Yes. Maybe in the I have a Christmas Eve in this weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
On 24th
Yeah.
and 25th.
24 is Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Then
Maybe
20,
I have time to do assignment.
yeah,
Don't worry.
we'll have
Yeah.
time. And Saturday, the 26th, we will have
Yes.
class. I will have a class with you. I like
I
that.
will send my assignment to you on a morning or afternoon
Yeah.
in Saturday. Yeah.
Yes,
Maybe.
yes.
Mm,
Correct.
no. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then we can discuss it, right?
Okay. Yes. Okay,
You
Miss.
can share it with me and then we can discuss it. That's right. Okay. So I am not going to waste any more time. I am going to share the last chapters, 2 chapters of the story. And then I will try, if we have more time, to explain it to you. All right. Have you started reading the whole book?
I read, but I don't understand it
Yeah.
much.
Uh, what about the lessons that we are having for Animal Farm? The summaries, are you able to understand it and I explain it to you?
Yes, about the poor and the overmanage. Yeah.
Uh-huh. All right. All right. So here is the final chapter. Boxer's cruel death. Who is Boxer? Do you remember the character Boxer?
Posture. Uh, sorry.
You don't remember?
Yes.
Okay. He is the one who is very dedicated and loyal to the
Mm,
to the leaders and to the government, and he follows everything that the government says. But I don't know why he suffered a cruel death here. Let's find out. Okay.
yeah.
I want you to also listen while you are following with your eyes on this.
Yes.
Chapters 9 to 10. Chapter 9. Boxer's cruel death. Previous. Next. Most novelists design their work with an inciting incident. Opening parentheses, major speech, closing parentheses, and a rising action that culminates in a point of climax, and then a falling action with an anticlimax and denouement to end the work. However,
It might be safely argued that the high point of the novel occurs early in the establishment of the utopian farm, and following that, the plot descends continuously to end with these two remaining chapters. Perhaps the plot design in this case is the mirror image of what readers normally expect, although, of course, some may argue otherwise. Let's think about these two chapters, and decide if they truly do contain what might be considered to be a climax. Boxer, who has worked relentlessly and contributed to the idea of the farm, split his hoof, and because he is an old animal, it takes longer than expected for the hoof to heal. While he is denying himself leisure, the pigs are indulging in the alcohol that the farm produces, and more acres are planted in barley to be used in the production of beer. Rations are reduced to all but pigs and dogs, once again showing that there really is no equality among the animals. Propaganda continues with the term readjustment being used instead of reduction, this latter term being an admission of defeat. One sentence is especially informative in this chapter: besides, in those days they had been slaves, and now they were free, and that made all the difference, as Squealer did not fail to point out. The irony in this sentence is that the animals, except for the pigs and dogs, have no freedom whatsoever, unless it's the freedom to suffer. While the hens routinely have to give over their eggs, and their progeny, Napoleon, the only boar on the farm, sires many young, and of course the danger here is that too much inbreeding will weaken the stock on the farm. Napoleon is so dominant, however, that this does not occur to him or to others who might have a clearer notion of successful farming. As in the past, as the failures increase, the demonstrations that wrongly suggest success on the farm increase, such as the trend in dictatorships on the decline. Napoleon requires that spontaneous demonstrations occur, the irony between scheduling and spontaneous being lost on him and making him and Squealer look increasingly ridiculous. Orwell continues his criticism of Soviet election by parodying the process on the farm when Napoleon stands as a candidate. In this case, as in Soviet elections in the last century, there is only one candidate, and thus no choice at all. When Napoleon wins, he does so unanimously, indicating once again both his total control over the farm, and the fact that voting in this election is entirely meaningless. Counter to Napoleon's consolidation of power, Boxer, the animal who is the most dedicated of the animals, continues to fade through simple exhaustion. While horses can be expected to live typically 25 or 30 years, Boxer is much younger, his age being referred to earlier in the text as 11. He, along with Clover and Molly, are the characters readers can sympathize with the most, their suffering only intensifying readers' dislike for the leaders who have mercilessly used the willing laborers, or as the Soviets called the workers, the proletariat. The final insult comes when the knacker's van comes to take Boxer away. When Squealer lies to the effect that the name on the van had not been painted over to reflect the new owner, the animals naively believe Squealer. Sadly, Boxer had worked so hard and achieved so little that was of real value on the farm. Boxer's death in conventional terms may represent the climax of the novel, but it may just as easily mark yet another failure in the decline of the ideal set forth in early chapters. 1, 2, 3. Chapter 10. Animal Farm becomes Manor Farm. Previous. Next. The final chapter is simply anticlimactic, not in a literary sense perhaps, but in that it provides no surprises for the now disillusioned animals, or readers for that matter. Jones has died as a hopeless alcoholic. Napoleon becomes decadently obese at 24 stone. Opening parentheses, a stone is 14 pounds, closing parentheses, and Benjamin, the donkey, a silent critic of the whole enterprise, says nothing. The windmill, as was the case with many Soviet programs, never does function, the running of the farm being taken up with bureaucratic paperwork files, reports, minutes, and memoranda, closing parentheses, and those who manage the farm contribute nothing. Squealer takes the always compliant sheep away to another part of the farm, and when he returns on 2 legs, the sheep proclaim, 4 legs good, 2 legs better, which is in direct contradiction of everything that the original commandment stood for earlier. The final commandment that appears on the wall reads, And this may be Orwell's most famous quotation, all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. The contradiction in this line, the hypocrisy of the statement, the very ideas that this could be posted and accepted by other animals, is a true indication of the degree to which the farm has fallen. Any hopes for self-rule and participation in the running of the farm continue to vanish as the pigs install a telephone and subscribe to newspapers. The animals have become human in everything except their appearance. When the farmers meet with the pigs, Mr. Pilkington says, "If you have your lower animals to contend with, we have our lower classes." Pilkington's comment indicates that Manor Farm, as it has now been renamed, and human society do not differ in any way. In fact, the mention of low rations and long working hours is the model of an opportunistic capitalist society in which owners do not treat their employees well. The animals will no longer refer to each other as comrades, and the images on the flag will be removed as symbols of the old order. Even in the easy relationship that has developed between farmers and animals, cheating occurs as both Pilkington and Napoleon play an ace of spades in the poker game that ensues, this instance of corruption being a comment on the dishonesty that exists in all forms of government, perhaps. The resolution to create a brave new world in which the pigs would become autonomous, free of man, and their obligations to humanity, has failed utterly. East side of the Berlin Wall. Make image full screen. In this novel, Orwell satirizes totalitarian forms of government, specifically Stalin's Soviet Union, which continued to unravel until the taking down of the Berlin Wall and the fall of communist governments across Eastern and Central Europe in 1989. Orwell's Animal Farm points to such outcomes well in advance of the historical events that eventually do take place 40 years, and more after the novel is published. He would have also been intrigued by the corruption that now exists in a supposedly democratic Russia, which is now under the rule of the former KGB agent, Vladimir Putin. As Jean-Baptiste Alphonse Carr, a French journalist, said, "The more things change, the more they remain the same." 1, 2, 3.
All right.
Yeah.
And we have discussed the elements of a story, right? What the story consists of. Do you remember?
Mm,
What do we have in a story? What are the things that we should find in the story? You are doing short story. It's the same in the novel, only it is longer. So what are the parts of a story? What are the
mm,
parts of a story?
maybe the character.
Character, that's right. That's correct. Character. What else? You have characters. What else do you have?
Mm,
Aside from characters?
the plot.
Yes, definitely. We won't have a story without a plot.
The setting.
Setting. What is setting? What do you consider setting?
The time and place.
Very good. Setting is time and place. Okay, what else? Anything else?
And the point of view.
Point of view, correct. Anything else?
I think is enough.
It is enough. Okay, so here in the final chapter, we have the cruel death. What do you mean by cruel?
Um,
Is it a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's the bad thing.
It's a bad thing because Boxer, he is the most dedicated animal to the farm, okay? Most dedicated means he's the most loyal. he becomes weaker and weaker because he is very tired, and the government takes too much advantage of him for his hard work. Normal horses can live 25 to 30 years, but Boxer is only 11 years old and he is already very weak. Okay? There are other characters here who become weak because of their hard work. In a communist country, the people, or they call it the proletariat, the laborers, work hard for the government, and they say that everybody is equal. Did you ever experience that in your country, Anne? Or did you ever see that happening in your country, even in the past history?
Yes, I think I just learned when I'm in a secondary school
Uh-huh.
about
Yeah, what about?
history when
Mm-hmm.
mm, when we mm, I just
What did
remember
you learn about Vietnamese history?
when we in the French domination.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good point. What about in the French domination?
they uh, uh, they arrested us to do hard work, and
Ah,
sometimes they kick or maybe make the Vietnamese people hurt or injured.
all
Yeah.
right. Okay, so that is a good example of what is happening. And in the same here, that the people in power are doing the same for the laborers. Okay, they
Yeah.
in Russia they call it the proletariat. They are the workers. Okay, and Boxer, they tried to take him away. Actually, I think he was killed. He did not die a natural death. You know why? Because they cannot make use of him anymore. In some communist countries, I think they just kill you if they cannot make use of you anymore. If you are old or you are sick, I don't know. Did you hear about that? Do you have any news about those kinds of things?
Mm, I think when they have uh, where they feel when they see um when they see when they see us no longer value
Yeah, correct. Go on, go on.
and maybe we can work or maybe some older people
Uh-huh.
awesome
Yes, old people. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
awesome awesome try. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they do not work too much. Yeah,
Uh-huh. Or they
so
cannot work too much, right? Because they're
so
old.
yeah, so maybe that is the reason why the government want to kill them.
Yes, very good. And it is not human because it is a communist government. Because if they keep them alive, they will still have to feed them, they will still have to uh, treat them, give them medicine, and all that stuff, right? So
Yeah,
I think it will be more economical or easier if they just kill them and they die because they cannot be useful anymore for the
yeah,
government. correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's what's happening here. Okay, so they
Yeah.
say it's an insult. So even if Boxer had worked so hard but did not do much that was of real value to the farm, okay, and it can be the climax of the novel. What is the climax in the plot? In the plot, like I told you before, there are several parts in the plot. You have the rising action, the conflict, right? Do you remember that? I told you
Yeah.
about the conflict, and then you have the climax. It's like going up the mountain. That's the highest point. And then there is the anticlimax, which is going down and reaching the end. So, in this novel, do you think that the death of Boxer is the climax of the novel?
Yes, I think it is the point of view on
But
this chapter.
mhm. Here it says it may represent the climax of the novel, but it can also mark another failure in the decline of the ideal set forth in early chapters,
Yes,
right?
because I think yeah, it's a many reason for the animal
Uh-huh.
against the government,
Uh-huh.
but but they don't have enough to motivation to do this work. But
Mm-hmm.
the cure that death is
Mm-hmm.
the stronger reason
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
make them stand up and against the government. Yeah.
Very good. I like that point of view. When someone dies, it's the same in my country before. There was someone who was killed before the people realized that there was something bad going on in my government. So we
Yeah.
called that the people power revolution at that time. And we were able to change the government, the dictatorship, just like Napoleon here, by rising up
Yeah.
in action,
Yeah.
a peaceful revolution. I know that you heard about that, right?
Yeah. Because I can understand like if and because I can understand they 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 realize if they don't do that they will become the bosser
Yes,
when they the
yes,
yes when they don't have the value.
that's right. That's right. So somebody has to sacrifice the life and become the hero before the other people who are not aware of what's happening, before they realize that there's something not good going on, right?
Yes.
Okay. So there is something here. It says, besides, in those days, they have been slaves and now they are free. And that made all the difference, as Quiller did not fail to point out. Do you think that the people now are free
Mm,
when
in
they removed Mr. Jones, the farmer, out of the animal farm? Did they become free?
no, I think when they leave the Mr. Charles, they met another people. They
Yeah.
live with the overmanic of that that guy.
Yeah, correct. The only difference is that now it is animals and not man, but the system is still the same. They are overmanaged, as you say it, right?
Yes.
So, in other words, they did not get their freedom, except for the pigs and the dogs who were dominating the other animals. Okay? They
Yeah.
still did not have freedom. Give me one example here, if you can follow. The hens have to lay more eggs because Napoleon, the leader, okay, has many, many babies. That's the
Yeah.
meaning of sires many young. So he makes many, many pigs pregnant. So the pigs, you know how they give birth? They don't give birth to one piglet, right? Not two. Sometimes there's six, five. sometimes 10, right?
Yeah.
And so the population of the animal farm grows bigger and bigger, and they have to be fed. And so the hens have to give more and more eggs. Okay?
Yes.
And because of this, it weakens the hens because they become very tired too of laying eggs. So what is left of the farm? More pigs and less hens. What does that mean? More leaders and less people, less workers. However, they cannot say anything because they are afraid of the leader because he is an authoritarian ruler, Napoleon. Okay, so these are the things that make the farm fail. Okay, the demonstrations that wrongly suggest the success on the farm increase. What do you mean by demonstrations?
Mm,
Demonstrations are like protests. Did you experience any protests in Vietnam before? Like the people are protesting against the government?
hmm. No. I think I don't have experience about that.
Because they're very young. But I'm sure before there were people who were on the streets trying to protest the wrongdoings of the government. They were against the government. So here, like that also, there were many demonstrations. Okay, and this also looks like that the rule is failing and there is already chaos. What do you mean by chaos?
Chaos.
What is the meaning of chaos?
Sorry, this word.
Chaos.
Mm,
Chaos. What do you mean by that?
uh,
Chaos.
like sorry, give me a few minutes.
Yeah.
Like the mess.
Yes. Correct. There is so much mess that is happening already. Okay. So here, most novelists will say that the rising action in the story before it reaches the climax, and then there is a falling action before the end of the story. Okay. Uh, Here, it is argued that you said it's Boxer's cruel death. Here, it is argued that the high point, the climax, is the establishment of the utopian farm. And following that, the plot descends continuously to end with these two remaining chapters. Okay, the climax, you need to understand this because this is part of your homework. Okay,
Yeah.
when we talk about the utopian farm, we talk about it is like heaven, a place where everybody likes to live because everybody is happy, everybody is contented. Okay, but it does not happen here. Okay, Perhaps the plot design in this case is the mirror image of what others normally expect, although, of course, some may argue otherwise. Okay? So
Yes.
these two chapters are very important, and because this will dictate or this will tell you what the about the plot. All right? The rising action, the climax, and then the falling action or anticlimax, and then until the end. All right? So
Yes.
take note of these two last chapters. Now, for chapter 10, Animal Farm becomes Manor Farm. Okay? Uh, there is cheating that occurs as both Pilkington and Napoleon play an ace of spades in a poker game. And this shows some, this shows some dishonesty. This shows some dishonesty with the leaders. Okay, is it correct? The leaders are dishonest?
Yes, they always cheating.
They're always cheating who?
The labor.
Why? How? Can you give me example?
Because they want to the labor make more and more work for them, so they never honestly is with the labor.
Yes, that's right. Is it bad to make the laborers work hard? Why does it become dishonest? Because that
Because
is the concept of the farm, to work hard. But what makes it dishonest?
uh, they always wrong about the thing is not become the truth with the labor.
Correct. Okay, they say that everybody must work hard to make the farm successful. But the only people, or the only animals that are working are the laborers. And what are the leaders doing
Uh,
in the
I, th- I
meantime?
I think they always talk
Talk.
and yes, and maybe sometimes they become a liar.
Uh-huh. They talk and they give you false news or fake news. And at
Yeah,
the same time, even if the workers are working very hard and are very tired, they are enjoying themselves. They are not working, and they what they do is to eat and eat what the laborers produce. So what happens? Napoleon becomes very, 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 very fat,
yeah,
and he cannot anymore carry himself because all he does was eat and drink. And you will remember that Mr. Jones, the reason why they got angry with Mr. Jones is that
yes.
why did
He is
they
the
get angry?
alcoholic.
He was an alcoholic, right? And now Napoleon is doing the same thing, right?
Yes,
And this is what they call the mirror image. At the start, they were protesting about the way the farm was being handled, but at the end, it was being handled in exactly the same way, although under a different leader. At the start, the leader was a person, but now the leader is an animal. Okay,
yeah,
that's why they say 4 legs good, 2 legs better. Before, it was the other way around. They said 2 legs good, but 4 legs better. And now they say 4 legs good, 2 legs better. Why? It is a contradiction. Contradiction means the opposite. It's very ironic. Why?
mm, I think is mm, maybe they
Maybe.
give me a few minutes.
What is
Mm.
the representation of 4 legs? Who walks on four legs?
It's the animal,
Yes. Who walks on two legs?
the people.
The people. Okay, but now they say four legs good, two legs better. What happened?
Uh,
You know what happened? Squealer, the one who always gives wrong information, he goes back. Uh, he goes back and he walks on two legs. He pretends to be walking on two legs, so he stands up like that and walks on two legs. All right, even if
mm,
he is an animal. That's why the sheep says, four legs good, two legs better, because the two legs is squealer. Now, here is the final commandment that appears on the wall. Uh, are you familiar with the writings on the wall? Sometimes in your country, have you read different writings on the wall? Like protesting, like saying something bad against the government. Did you see
uh,
anything like that?
uh, yes, I can see it when I go to the Ho Chi Minh City.
Yeah, in Ho Chi
Yeah,
Minh. What did they say?
depend on the word like protect the animal like elephant and the
Uh-huh. Yeah. What else?
or keep clean environment.
Uh-huh. What
Yes,
else?
but I never see about the bad thing about the government.
Ah, okay,
Yeah,
because it's not allowed, right? In
yeah,
your country, it's not allowed. They can go to prison, correct?
yes.
In my country, they can do that. So sometimes if they cannot protest openly by words, they protest by writing on the wall about the government, about the officials, and about the laws that are not being followed. Okay, and can you read this? All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. What do you mean by that? Is this correct? All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. What do you mean by that?
Mm, like they talk about the labor and the government.
Yes, definitely. They're talking about labor and the government. But when you say equal, what do you mean by that?
Like everybody, when every people, when was born, we
Mm.
are equal. But day by day, when we grew up, maybe sometimes become rich. Some people become rich, some people become the poor, and we have the difference in the social.
Mm-hmm. Is it
Yeah.
true that in the people, some people are more equal than others? What does that mean? When you say equal, everybody's the same. But when you say more equal, what do you mean by that?
Like I can maybe is I can maybe I can understand like the poor people and the rich people. We have the same thinking, but we different about the outside. Yes,
Yeah,
we have the same
correct.
brain, the same thinking about the the thing or yeah.
Like they say, all people are equal. But do you see everybody equal? Like everybody's rich or everybody's poor?
Mm, no, we
No.
different.
Yeah, we differ, right?
Yeah.
Some people are rich, some people are poor, some people are very, very rich, and some people are very, very poor, correct?
Yes.
So here, does it make sense? Is it the same if I say all people are equal, but some people are more equal than others? Is it also the same if I replace animals with people? Is it also
Yeah.
the same? Is it also
Mm,
true?
Yes, I think it's true because uh I think it's this the degree of the I think it's the famous quotation is talk about the degree of the family,
The degree of
the frame
the
had the fallen.
I didn't get the last word. Can you say it again?
Like the I want to talk about the degree of the farmer is fallen.
Ah, okay. The degree of the failure. Yeah. It talks about the degree of the failure. Yeah, because the farm has fallen. That is correct. Okay. So here, they didn't want to become humans, right? They wanted the animals to rule the farm because they say that the farm is for the animals. But when the pigs became the rulers, they started to behave like human beings. So they were using the telephone, they were reading the newspapers, and they were asking the laborers to work harder. So the only difference is that they are animals and but their behavior is very human. The only difference is their appearance here in the last chapter. Okay.
Mm,
Okay. So when the farmers meet with the pigs, Mr. Pilkington, a farmer, he's a human being, he says, if you have lower animals to contend with, we have our lower classes. What does that mean? If you have lower animals, we have our lower classes. Who are the lower classes, and with the humans? Who are the lower classes?
the homeless.
Homeless, correct. Yeah, who else?
I think in the people,
In the society, who are the
yeah,
lower classes?
I think the homeless
The homeless or the poor ones, right?
or the yes or the people they do not to do anything,
Yeah,
lazy.
yes.
Uh,
Also, uh, they are the ones who do not have food, they do not have clothing, and they do not have a home,
yes,
right? Uh, but the laborers in your country and my country, they work very hard. And at the end of the day, they get their salary, but it's very low, correct?
yes,
It's low than the ones who work in the offices, than the ones who graduated from the university. And
yes,
they go home and they get salary on a monthly basis,
yeah,
not daily. So if the workers, they do not have work for that day, like what happened to the COVID, right?
yes.
When some uh, when some businesses closed and the people did not have work, what happened to these people?
They become poor
They become poorer, and what else?
and become the global lasses.
The lower classes. It is the same here in the animal farm because it is a capitalist society. They do not like the capitalist society. They want the equal society, the communist society. But what happens here is that the owners or the leaders do not treat their employees well. And you know that too in your society and in my society, that is happening, that some owners do not treat their employees well, correct?
Yes,
So is there equality if it's like that? And if the owners or the bosses do not treat their workers well, is there equality among people?
yes. If yeah, I think it's true because if you do the hard work, they will they will have the respect of the boss and colleague.
Mm-hmm. But
Yeah,
if they are not treated well by the boss,
when you
well,
yes, when you don't do the job as well. Yeah,
so what happens if you don't do the job well?
maybe you become the fire.
You become you are fired. And will you have enough food to feed your family? Will you have a good house to put your family in when you lose your work?
Yeah.
No, you won't, right? Okay. Now the relationship between are you there? Hello? Anne, are you there? Anne, what happened? What happened, Anne? What
So
happened?
my internet,
Uh-huh.
yes, have problem, some problem.
Okay, let's just finish this. Okay.
Yeah.
So there became a relationship between the farmers, between the humans and the animals again, and they were playing some games. But you can also see the dishonesty that exists. They are also trying to cheat each other in the game of poker. Do you know the poker game? Do you know what that is? It's a game
Okay.
of cards.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Is yeah.
So they were saying that they wanted to solve the problem. So they were saying that we will create a new world, so in which the pigs would become autonomous or free. They will act on their own. The men, the human beings, will not have any obligations. Uh,
Mm,
not
yeah.
give them any obligations. But it also failed utterly. Why did it fail? Why did that also fail, Anne?
Mm, I think because the labor against the government is successful.
Yes, correct. Even with the pigs, the laborers still suffer, and it also fails because even if the men are not responsible for them anymore, the leaders of the animals, who are also animals, are also dishonest, just like the men. That is why uh, the the animal farm also failed because of that. Okay, so this is being compared to the government of Russia. Last question. It says here, the more things change, the more they remain the same. What do you mean by that? The more things change, the more they remain the same.
Mm, I think they want to say is something is changes, but something is don't change in yeah.
That's right. You just imagine them to be changing, but actually they are the same. Okay. So what is this
Maybe
referring to?
maybe I can understand like Vietnam. Maybe the people have the more freedom, but we have we still we still be controlled by the government.
Very
But
good.
we have more freedom. we don't we don't work hard about when the government says we work hard. We must work hard. We can do whatever we want, but it's not like um yes I it's not illegal. Yeah,
Yes.
don't illegal.
Very good. That is exactly it. The more things change, the more they remain the same. It is just the thinking that you think that things change, but actually they remain the same as long as the government controls the workers. Very good, Anne. So that is the ending here of the summary. And that also puts the whole main idea in this animal farm. They wanted change, right, at the very start. But in the end, did they change or things remain the same?
Yes, maybe they have more space to read, more
Do,
time to
do
break.
they? Do they?
That's the main reason they still be controlled by government.
Yes, that's right. The only change that they saw was that it was from humans to animals, but the control of the government over them remained the same. Okay, that's the meaning of this. The change was the kind, the ones who controlled the ones who were in the government, in this case from humans to animals. But
Mm,
the thing that remained the same, the workers were still uh, working very hard. They still were poor, and they were, like what you said, they were still overmanaged and they were taken advantage of. So in the end, they did not succeed.
yes, I think they successful, but a part of the revolution. But
Uh-huh.
the remain the same is the different, like the poor and the rich people.
Yes, that is so true. Okay, and very good. So at least you have an idea of how it ended. So nothing changed actually, and even if they tried very hard, the workers remained still poor. Okay,
Yeah.
I have a reminder here from Mr. Dat saying that uh, if you do not complete your assignments before the exams, all the incomplete assignments will be marked as zero. Okay.
Yes.
So I will expect something from you so that I can help you by
Yeah.
Saturday.
I will send all assignment for you on the morning or the afternoon Saturday before I get the final exam.
Okay. I
Yeah.
don't think you will have the final exam on Saturday yet. We could still discuss your homework. All right.
Yes.
With you alone. All right. Good night. And
Good
I'll see you on
night.
Saturday. Bye
See
bye.
you. Hey. Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Ah, Merry Christmas. Yes. Same to you.
Yeah.
Bye bye.